To talk about the Browns' 31-6 shellacking of the Miami Dolphins. We had out of the fan hotline to welcome in Browns analyst Nathan Zegura. Nathan, welcome to the show, buddy. As I welcome you on, I'm so sorry. I farted the bed there, Nathan. Nathan, welcome to the show, buddy.
Well, thanks, guys. Good to be with you.
I forgot what it meant to put somebody online because I went to not an Ivy League school. All right, Nathan, what does that kind of win do for a team that started the way the Browns started the first 6 weeks?
Well, I just think it allows you to exhale a little bit. You know, obviously tensions were very high. Things had not been going well for this football team. Offensively, you hadn't been able to get past 17 points. And so when you have a game where you look good, you're able to dominate another team, it's a relief. And it's a little validation about some of the work that you've been putting in. And, you know, you got your leading passer, rusher, receiver, all rookies there. You had great job by your defense, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble on special teams. Myles Garrett was talking about what would it look like if we were ahead. Well, we got to see that, and Jim Schwartz devised a brilliant game plan. We mixed it up. We played a lot more zone than we played all year, and it just gives you a little bit of an exhale. But now what you've got to do is enjoy that and say, okay, that's great, but what we've got to figure out a way to do is win away from our building, and we need to figure out a way to win multiple games in a row, and this is going to be a very tough test in New England this Sunday.
Oh, it's interesting you bring that up, actually, because now I think the Browns have dropped 11 straight away games. Why is it, do you feel like, it's been such a struggle away from home?
Well, I think that, number one, from just a defensive standpoint, playing in front of our fans makes a big difference for our defense because teams got to go to the silent count. It allows Myles Garrett to maybe get a little bit of better get-off than he gets on the road. And we've kind of seen that, you know, throughout our tenure is that our defense has not been as good on the road as it is home. That's a part of it. It's always tough to play on the road. It's just a more difficult environment for your offense. So, listen, everybody does it. Teams go on the road and find ways to win football games. We have got to do the same. And there's no excuse. You can win the game anywhere. There are plenty of teams in the league that go on the road and are able to win. You know, Carolina this year had not won on the road until this past week, and now the Browns have to find a way to go on the road and get a win themselves.
Nathan, what were your takeaways from Dillon Gabriel's third career start?
He was efficient, and it has since 13 of 18, and his completion percentage was high. He did not, put the ball in harm's way often. I think we obviously got an interception that was taken off the board there, be the pass interference on Minkah Fitzpatrick. He had another one that he just got into Jerry Jeudy, but I thought it was efficient. I thought he managed the game. I thought it was apparent, obviously, that the Browns were in control of it, and he made sure that he wasn't going to make mistakes. Now, I do think that there were misses in terms of reads. I thought there was a play where he could have got the ball to Jerome Ford where he had a natural pick set. There was another one where he could have gotten it out to Quinshon Judkins. I thought that there were some plays. There's Isaiah Bond was open on a post, and that's where he's got to find the balance. That's the next step. Look, the Browns are 16-6 under Kevin Stefanski, including 1-2 this year, but 16-6 overall when they don't turn the football over. Dillon Gabriel has not turned the football over in 3 starts, 3 consecutive games. So that's where it starts. That's great. But the next evolution for him is not necessarily is making some of those plays, is pushing the football down the field. Now, the weather conditions were such in the first half, it was difficult for either team. And in the second half, the Browns had a nice job. They were in control after that pick six from Tyson Campbell. But that's the next evolution. That's where we have to see Dillon Gabriel hit the layups that this offense scheme provides you, but then also make some of the plays down the field that we've had opportunities to make that we have not yet made through 3 weeks.
What do you make of the discourse around Judkins' game where the idea is that, and I think it was a great game based off the yards after contact, but 3.4 yards per carry is what's being highlighted by some of the detractors out there. What do you make when they say, well, without the 46-yard run, what type of day did he really have?
That's running. That's running in the National Football League. Man, we were lucky enough to have Nick Chubb here. It's not always 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. It's a lot of 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, 60. That's the way that it works. And right now, Quinshon Judkins leads the NFL with 4 runs of more than 30 yards. And you look at the rookies who have ever had 4 runs of 30 yards or more in their first 7 games, it's a who's who, man. You're talking about Adrian Peterson, Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley, Devon Achane is on that list, who's been a very productive runner in the NFL, Kareem Hunt. So it is guys that have been, and that's since the year 2000, it is guys who have gone on to have very successful careers. So I think he's in certainly very good company there. I think we've got to do a better job of not missing our assignments or getting some push there, because when you rush 4 as he did, it was 80-something yards. I can't remember the exact 83 or 85, something like that. But he had 95 yards after contact. So he had more yards after contact than he had rushing yards. That means, just doing the math, on average, he's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage before he gets going. So that's a team thing that's got to be better there. Certainly up front, it's got to be better. And we went jumbo a lot, but loved the creativity using the Wildcat in the red zone. We scored on 2 of those plays. I thought that was great. And Quinshon Judkins is a special runner. He just did not have a lot of room to run, and there were very few plays where he actually got to the line of scrimmage cleanly. When he did, he had the 46-yard run. He also had a 17-yard run. It's just a matter of, we've got to more consistently allow him to operate. You get him a yard down the field, he's averaging 3.8 yards per carry after contact, and on the season it's just over 4. He's going to average 5 yards a carry. He's going to do all the things that people probably want. It's just one of those things that is not necessarily as linear maybe as people want it to be. That's just not how running works in the NFL.
Nathan, Tyson Campbell had 2 huge plays. There was the chase down. There was the pick six. So obviously we had 2 great plays. Was his game on tape as good as we thought it was looking at it in real time?
Absolutely. Tyson Campbell, he has got jets. When Devon Achane gets in the open field and gets to the sideline, he is usually gone. And Tyson Campbell ran him down, ran reportedly near 21 miles an hour on that, fastest player on the field on the day. I thought he was great in coverage, didn't allow a single reception in coverage, got his hand on the football twice. Obviously, one of them, the pick six, the first pick six of his career. But, you look at him, and in 2 games with the Cleveland Browns, he's forced a fumble, he's got a pick six, he's got 4 passes defense. He's not afraid to tackle and be a part of the run defense. I think this trade looks great. He is such a great scheme fit for what the Cleveland Browns want to do. Stylistically, I think so far it has been nothing but a home run with Tyson Campbell coming to the Cleveland Browns. And here's the best part. We've got a lot of holes, and we know that. I think it's very clear in this offseason we need to address the offensive line. We need to address wide receiver and get weapons for our quarterback. But having Tyson Campbell and knowing that, okay, this is in a position where we have to worry about paying somebody. He's under contract. This is looking like a wonderful thing for the Cleveland Browns.
Last week, Nathan, we talked about Mason Graham and being the number 5 overall pick and how you needed to see some big-time plays. It looks like he had some big-time plays on Sunday. Was that the turnaround that you'd kind of hoped for Mason?
Absolutely. He's a talented guy, and there was question whether or not he was going to be able to play. Wasn't able to practice on Friday after an injury on Thursday, and you certainly saw no ill effects of that. He had a couple quick pass rushes where he was on Tua in under 2 seconds. And for a defensive tackle to make a guy whiff on you like that is impressive. So the first step was there. The quickness was there. Had a couple pressures. Also had a tackle for a loss. Was making plays in the backfield. That's what it's all about. Being disruptive, and he certainly was in this game. That was very, very good to see for the Cleveland Browns.
Nathan Zegura, Browns analyst on the fan hotline here as we continue to celebrate the 31-6 win over the Miami Dolphins yesterday, a commanding win. Some fans were thinking, and I don't share this thought, I don't think my partner does either, but some fans thought you were ahead 31-6. At some point, you want to get Shedeur Sanders' feet wet, that maybe that would have been a great spot to get him some garbage time reps. Is that the kind of game scenario where that actually makes sense?
I don't think so, because if you were going to do it, if it was a garbage time scenario, you'd want it to be kind of the roles being reversed, which we certainly don't want. But that's why you saw Quinn Ewers get in there for Miami. At that point, you're just running the ball anyway. And I think Dillon Gabriel, he deserves to get the opportunity to kneel in victory formation. That's why you play the game to win, put your team in those kind of positions. And so, no, I didn't think that made sense. I'm kind of surprised it's even really been much of a talking point.
I think we were as well. One other talking point that I've heard a lot this year, and I happen to agree with, and I saw it most after the phantom DPI call that got Jackson Dart the ball on the goal line as the Giants tried to avoid that. And it's the idea that we're seeing too many DPI calls. Do you agree that that is a call that has just gotten blown up to a level that makes it hard for either side to play?
It can at times, for sure, and I thought the one you're referencing in that game, I thought that was a terrible call, especially given the circumstances in that game. The defender was in such perfect position. I thought the offensive player actually went through him, through Riley Moss, the corner for the Broncos. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they brought review into DPI, because it's just such a game-changing play. It can be a field-changing play, and I think that they just... you can't have guys going out there tackling receivers, things like that. I feel like DPI kind of like a catch. You know it when you see it. You know what I mean? Like, there are times when you know somebody's being interfered with, but the rules are slanted already so far in favor of the offense that to award 40, 50 yards, especially in that type of a situation, to me is ludicrous unless it was egregious, and that certainly was not egregious in any way by the corner.
All right, we got about 40 seconds here. What's the difference with Alex Wright this year? Because he has been on a just completely different level in game.
He was kind of trending that way. If you remember, 2 years ago, he had a sack in each of the final 5 games. Then he comes out and only ends up playing 4 games. He was banged up in camp. He got the sack, in the end zone. Maybe it was a safety that really helped us beat Jacksonville early in the season. And then he's out for the rest of the year. So we just haven't seen him. He was a guy that when they drafted him out of Alabama Birmingham, they knew it was going to take about a year or two to adjust to the NFL. But if you look at what Alex Wright has done over, call it, his last 10 games, or his last, now we're at 7, 11, his last 16 games, basically his last full season, he's been incredibly productive. And I thought what you saw was a guy who understood the plan and understood also exactly what Miami wanted to do. If you're going to get home with your pass rush, that's great. If you're not, be on the lookout for those quick passes out to Devon Achane and run them down. He did that multiple times. He's playing great. It would not at all surprise me to see Alex Wright receive a contract extension at some point this year, as he is now in the final year of his rookie deal, because he's playing that well. I think he's worthy of it, and I think he's clearly an ascending player.
Nathan, great stuff. It's always great having you on any Monday, but it's even nicer on a Browns Victory Monday. That was a lot of fun. Let's do it again.
All right, you got it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan Zegura there, Browns analyst on the Fan Hotline.